Hey, have you ever tried really reaching out for the other side? I may be climbing on rainbows, but baby, here goes. I want to make it with you. I really think that we could make it, girl. Dreams are for those who sleep. Life is for us to keep. And if you're wondering what this song is leading to, I want to make it with you. Well, there we have it. It was a good song by the group Bread, who was one of my, well, still is one of my favorite bands. And I couldn't think of a song with bread in it, so I thought I'd sing a song by Bread. And of course, the name of that song is I Want to Make It With You, and what I want to make with you today is bread. So get out your bread machine, dust it off, because this is a bread machine recipe. You could make it in a bowl, I guess, and do it the old traditional way. It makes one loaf. My trusty old bread machine here is going on 20 or almost 30 years old. Yeah, this was actually my parents originally. They bought it back around 89 or 90. And this particular machine, this style, is so well made that they still make it and sell it. It's a Hitachi HB-B102. So if you're looking for a bread machine, you can go on, just Google Hitachi HB-B102 and you'll find it. And you can order yourself one. But if you have your bread machine, get it out, blow the dust off it, and let's make some bread, shall we? What we're making today is my own recipe for multi-grain bread. However, you can just make it as white bread or as whole wheat bread. So just where I put in, it takes 3 cups of flour. I use 1.5 cups of white flour and 1.5 cups of multi-grain. So if you just want white bread, use 3 cups of white flour. If you want whole wheat, then use 1.5 cups of white and 1.5 cups of whole wheat. Just that simple to change it up. So let's get started. First thing we're going to put in is 1 1/8. That's 1/8, an 1/8 cup of water. Should be room temperature. Then you want 1.5 cups of white flour. Now if you want, you could use bread flour, would be fine, or multi-purpose flour. Then I'm using 1.5 cups of multi-grain flour. Now your next ingredient is a teaspoon of salt. And when you put that in, you want to put it in around the edges. And the reason for that is, although eventually they will touch, you don't want your salt touching your yeast because it will kill the yeast. So if you put your salt in the middle and dump your yeast in, your bread's probably going to come out like a brick. So shake your salt around the edges. And then what I do, I have a tablespoon here, is I usually flick my flour out over it, just around the edge of the thing, and it kind of makes a little pit in the middle. And that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. The next ingredient is 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is a recipe where you have to use sugar because the yeast needs the sugar to work properly. Then you want 2 tablespoons of powdered milk, or dry milk, whatever you call it where you're from. And then you want 2 tablespoons of oil. Now today I'm using Bcell oil, but you can use olive oil, you can use canola oil, sunflower oil. You want 2 tablespoons of oil. Yes, you could use sesame oil too. It would probably give it a slightly different flavor. You want 1 egg, 1 whole egg. And of course your final ingredient, 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. Now I'm using bread machine yeast. It's Fleischmann's bread machine yeast. Another yeast I really like and works very well is Red Star yeast. So either one. You can use bread machine yeast or just regular yeast. I've used regular yeast before and it works just fine. I'm not sure what the difference is. I always thought yeast was yeast, but there you go. So anyway, 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. And that's it. You're done, you're ready to go. And so now we'll put it in the bread machine. On there and just press start. It just goes on your standard bread setting on your bread machine, and mine it takes 4 hours and 10 minutes, and I'm sure you don't want to watch a 4-hour and 10-minute video of my bread machine making noises, so we'll be back when the bread's done and we'll see how it turns out. Well, our loaf of bread is almost ready, so we'll just wait for the beeper and then we'll get it out and see how she looks. She rose pretty high. She actually is just touching the top of the bread maker, but that's okay, won't hurt at all. I've actually had a few times it's mushroomed to the point where it's almost pushing the lid open. We're having it rise a bit too much, but today looks pretty good. So come on, is it bread yet? Well, almost, any second. There we go. Always the tricky part is getting it out now, right? Let's see if we can get it to come out without too much of an argument. And there we have our nice, lovely loaf of hot bread. Bring it over so you can have a better look at it. We'll be able to have a slice of hot bread and butter there. Well, that's our recipe for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. And, I promised 2 songs today, didn't I? Because I didn't sing one last week. Well, how about, I love bread and butter, I love toast and jam. When you put your arms around me, I'll be your loving man. Well, there we go. That's for my wife, all right? Just in case any of the rest of you are getting any ideas. Alright, hope you've enjoyed today's recipe, and will join me on Friday for our shout-outs, our story of the week, and our groaner. Until then, take care, stay safe, and God bless.